my friends, welcome to the show, Stock Charts in Focus, of course, our product focus show here on the channel, where we dig into the site, dive into those tools, walk you through those features, and ultimately help you get more value out of stock charts, especially on a week like today, where we are going to spend a little bit of time reviewing my top 5 favorite features for getting more out of stock charts, making the site work even better for you. My name is Grayson Rose, Vice President of Operations here at StockCharts.com. Wonderful as always to be back with you. We were off last week, so it's great to be back in the saddle here for another episode of the show. This is an exciting one for a couple of reasons. First and foremost, like I said, we're going to show you some of these tools that I use every single day, some of these things that I simply could not imagine trading or investing without. Some of the basic, most simple, yet most powerful ways to get more out of stock charts. So we're going to show you all of those on the show today. But it's also an exciting episode because we have a huge announcement. Now, you're going to be hearing more about this over the coming couple of weeks, but we have a very, very thrilling, amazing, just incredible new partnership launching with Larry Williams. Now, Larry, of course, you probably know. Larry is a veteran trader, an indicator creator, a technical legend. Larry is someone who has been doing this for a long, long time, trading for decades, and he has made a name for himself as truly one of the best traders out there. He is a 2-time winner of the U.S. Investing Championship. I mean, his resume just speaks for itself. We are so excited to be bringing a brand new content partnership with Larry to Stock Charts. He's actually going to be bringing his thoughts on the market to the site in a brand new exclusive newsletter. And even more on top of that, not just this written content he's going to be doing, Larry's actually going to be doing a live monthly webinar. He's calling it a family meeting, where you're going to get to join him on a webinar for about an hour, ask questions, hear his thoughts on the markets, really kind of sit down with Larry as part of his community there on Stock Charts. So that is going to be launching next month. Now, the very exciting thing too is that for all Stock Charts members, you automatically get the first 2 months of Larry's service for free. So starting in October, this is going to be a monthly add-on that you can add to your Stock Charts account. But for the first 2 months of Larry's new newsletter service and live monthly webinar, we're actually throwing this in for all Stock Charts members. All you've got to do if you are a Stock Charts member is head over to the articles page starting next month, pull down the drop-down menu and find Larry's blog. As long as you are a Stock Charts member and you're logged into your account, you're actually going to be able to access that. Now, if you're not a Stock Charts member, the other exciting thing is that we're still giving you access to those 2 free months. All you have to do is go sign up for a free trial, create a Stock Charts account, sign up for that trial, and you're actually going to get access to Larry's content, in addition to a free Stock Charts account. So some of the tools that we're going to look at on the show today, you'll actually have a chance to use those. You'll have a chance to see Larry's tools in action. Larry's actually built a lot of his indicators into Stock Charts. He'll be using those. You'll have access to those as well if you want them. So very, very exciting stuff. All you have to do if you're not currently a Stock Charts member, go to stockcharts.com/Larry, Larry. Visit that link. We'll also put it in the description below. But head over to that link, sign up, and you're going to get this 2 free month offer if you're not currently a Stock Charts member. If you are a Stock Charts member, as we said a minute ago, all you're going to have to do is go to that articles page once you've logged into your account, and you'll actually be able to access these first 2 months of Larry's new service. So starting in October, this will be a monthly add-on, but for the first 2 months, for August and September, new content coming from Larry. I can't wait. Everything that he puts out is always timely, always insightful, and seems to always be right. That's the crazy thing about Larry. He's been doing this for so long. His thoughts on the market are just incredible. So look for that and visit stockcharts.com/Larry if you're not currently a member and you want to sign up. Now, with that out of the way, let's jump into these top 5 tips and tricks, ways to get more out of stock charts. We'll jump over to the site now and get it going. So here we are on the Sharp Charts workbench. This is going to be our first stop on the tour today. Now, it might be the most simple one if you are already a member. You've likely already done this, but I have to reiterate it. This is truly the most important thing you can do to make stock charts work better for you. The most important feature of your Stock Charts membership. That is ChartStyles or chart templates. Whichever name kind of works better for you. We're starting to call them chart templates more and more. But ChartStyles are the way that you can take a whole set of indicators, all of those tools and features that you add to your charts, the type of chart, the size, the range, the overlays, the indicators, those moving averages, things like the MACD and the RSI, all of those different things that you set up to create your charts. You can save those as a chart template called a chart style. What that means is that every time you come to the page to pull up a chart, when you type in a ticker symbol, you're not going to have to set up your charts from scratch every single time. Now, it sounds simple, but this is the most important thing that you can do to make stock charts work better for you. It is the most important thing that you're going to get access to as a Stock Charts member as well. So the way that you set these up here in Sharp Charts, once you've come down to the bottom of the workbench and you've configured all of these settings, again, with things like what period do you want on your charts, daily, weekly, monthly, intraday, any of those kinds of things. What type of chart do you want? Are you looking at candlesticks, bar charts, those kinds of things? Do you want any moving averages on there? Do you want something like the parabolic SAR or the volume weighted average price? Do you want to add some indicators? All of those different things that you're going to add to your charts, those core indicators, core features, core settings. Once you have set those up, all you have to do to save a chart style to your Stock Charts account is hit this little button right here. If you look in this row, it says Chart Styles. This will actually give you a menu with access to all of the styles that you have saved for your account. Once you've set something up though, all you've got to do is hit Add New. Now you can see if that menu pops up on the screen, I've actually created the maximum number of chart styles for my account, which is 50, because these things are truly so important. So I have maxed them out in my account. I've created tons and tons of different chart configurations that I have access to. But if you have not created one, look for this Add New button. That's all you're going to have to do to set up a chart. Come over here, create a new chart style. Now, if you do want that chart style to be the default, the one that kind of shows up on the workbench when you first visit the page, you can also save that as your default once you've selected that chart style from this menu here on the left. If you do want to make any changes, you can select any chart style from your account, set the changes that you want, make any of those changes, any of those edits, and then use this replace button to actually pick that chart style, hit replace, and that will sort of overwrite those things. If you want to change the name, you also have access to that right here. And if you do want to delete a chart style, you can do that with that button right there. The other thing that you have access to though with chart styles on the workbench are what we call style buttons. So you can actually set up these different style buttons on the left side of your chart to give you quick access to different templates. So you can see this is my personal default. I've got price relative at the top, a couple of moving averages, and some volume bars. But I have quick access to some more complex charts that I have created using these style buttons. So you can see now we've got a couple of different variations of price relative. We've still got that price panel in the middle, but we bring in some indicators at the bottom. And you can see how quickly and easily it was for me to access that over here on the left. So you can set up these different style buttons. Once you've created those chart styles, created those chart templates in your account, you can open up this little menu here on the left side of the screen using that arrow up the top, and you can actually drag any of your saved chart styles up to the top. All you got to do is drag those up, just like you're seeing here. Drag those on up, and anything above that little buttons row is going to be a style button. That's going to give you quick access to your favorite chart styles. So playing around with this, getting comfortable with chart styles, creating those, saving them to your account, coming up with all of those different layouts that you want to use. Now, to give you a sense of kind of what different things you can do with chart styles, As you can see, I've got different time frames in here. We were just looking at a daily chart. Now we're looking at a 15-year weekly chart. So you can use ChartStyles to create different time frames. If we want to jump down to something very, very short term, now we're looking at a 5-day minute-to-minute chart, 5 days worth of 1-minute data. So a very, very short-term chart that I personally use for trading decisions, for entries and exits, things like that. We can also use ChartStyles for crazier things like Bollinger Bands. This is a chart style that I have that's dedicated just to Bollinger Bands. So if you want to do something crazy like that, you can use these for anything that you want. Here's a chart style I've created that uses the volume by price indicators. So instead of having to set all these things up every time I want to see the volume by price indicator, I have a chart style saved for that. Huge time saver. This is a great, great way to optimize your workflow here on Stock Charts. So that is our first stop. Now we are going to jump over to ACP and take a quick look at how ChartStyles work over there. So we flipped over now to our advanced charting platform, interactive, dynamic. These are that new type of chart that we've introduced. You've got two different ways to chart the market now. Sharp charts are kind of classic legacy tool, which we're continuing to evolve and support and enhance. Big things coming to sharp charts later this year. But we also have this kind of more interactive, dynamic, fluid experience where you can move through time, scroll around, do those kinds of things. To set up your charts here in ACP, if you're an ACP user, you probably already know this, but open up that chart settings menu on the left. This will give you access to all of the different indicators that we have in ACP. And to add any of these to your charts, all you have to do is give it a click. You'll see that adds to the chart right down at the bottom. So once you've set up those charts exactly the way that you want them in ACP, we've got a button on the left side called Chart Templates. As I said, we're sort of exploring renaming this Chart Templates. We've actually done that here in ACP. So you can create any of those chart templates just like we did in Sharp Charts. You'll see that these actually load in a group up at the top called Your Chart Templates. You also have some samples if you do want easy chart templates you can actually get started with. So something like a moving average ribbon. Here's a nice sample chart that you can quickly jump to. Any of those settings though that you package up here in ACP and you want to create a chart style or a chart template for those, just look at the bottom of that chart templates panel, hit that big green button, and that'll actually allow you to save a new chart template to ACP. If you want to update an existing one, you've also got access to that right here. So super, super easy to work with here in ACP. Now, we'll jump back over to the Sharp Charts world, jump outside of ACP. We'll take a look at our second most important thing that you need to set up on Stock Charts to get the most out of the platform. That's going to be a chart list with all of your positions in it. So we'll jump over to the dashboard. This is kind of the heart and soul of your Stock Charts account. And right up at the top right corner, you've got a big gray button for chart lists. Now, other sites, other platforms, you might have heard of this as a watch list. If you're not familiar with what a chart list is, you might have heard of them as watch lists. They're lists that you can save symbols into. The big difference here with StockCharts.com is that when you're saving something to a list, you're saving a chart to a list. So instead of watch lists, we call them chart lists. Because when you save one of those symbols to a list, it's actually going to save with an entire chart to it. That's another way to kind of save those settings as you go. So the most important thing that you're going to want to do when you first join Stock Charts, or if you've been using the site for a long time and you haven't done this already, you're going to want to create a chart list with your positions in it. You can see in my account, this is actually my own account. This is what I use to manage my own money, trade, invest actively. You can see that I have a positions, all positions list right down here. So these are all of the different things that I own in my active account. This is the most important chart list. I keep it up to date. This is the one that I follow every single day. Now, I've actually created a couple of chart lists. These are sort of different components of my total portfolio. I've split those into kind of a couple of different buckets that I have some nicknames for, and I have weekly charts for all of those positions as well. So in this one single chart list that has all my positions in it, these are all daily charts. And then I have separate chart lists for the weekly charts of all my positions as well. You could do the same, but maybe you don't want to break it up into those different groups. So you could have one chart list with all your daily charts of your positions and one chart list with all weekly charts of your active positions. That's an easy way to bring in some multi-time frame analysis for the things that you own. But the most important thing, I love to tell people about this, create a chart list with the stocks and funds and any other securities that you own. Most important thing that you can do with stock charts. So to do that, you can actually do it right from the dashboard, either for Sharp Charts or for ACP. You can actually do this for ACP here on the dashboard as well. In either case, scroll down to that Your Chart List panel, look in the top right corner, hit the New button, and this will allow you to actually type in a name like My Portfolio. You can type in a name for that chart list, and then you can start to type in symbols. So maybe you own Netflix, maybe you own Apple, maybe you own Google. You can just type those in on their own line. Or if you want to separate them with a comma, you can do Netflix, comma, space Apple, comma, space Google, comma, space anything else. You can put any ticker symbol in here. If you own it, you can add it here on Stock Charts. Add that to a chart list. That's going to make watching the stuff that you own much, much easier. So that is our second tip there. We'll jump over really quickly to ACP, show you how you can create chart lists in that platform as well. Let's also, while we're doing that, get back to kind of a normal chart instead of that moving average ribbon. So here in ACP, over on the right side of the platform, right up at the top, you've got a chart list sidebar. When you open that up, down at the bottom, you'll see a big green button. You can give that a click, and that's going to do the exact same thing. Type in a name for that chart list, add those symbols either separated by commas or on their own lines. You can also paste things into this box. If you've got a list of ticker symbols from a spreadsheet or from another source, you can actually paste those right in here. You can also come down to the bottom of ACP, open up the chart lists drawer. This is another way that you have to access your chart list. And you can actually create a new chart list using the green button on the right side. It's going to be the exact same. Type in a name, type in those symbols. So Sharp Charts and ACP, incredibly important. Create a chart list with your portfolio saved into it. Our third stop, we're going to jump over to our charts and tools page. This is one of my favorite pages on the site to show people. It is an amazing directory of everything that is there. There are a ton of different tools, different features around stock charts, and this is a great way to get to know them. Now, our third stop is going to be scanning, but we're going to do that through something called our sample scan library. So we're going to scroll down this page to the member tools section. And you can see over on the right side of this page, we've got a card for sample scan library. So scanning, one of the most crucial, one of the most powerful, most important features on stock charts. One of the big things that you get access to as a Stock Charts member. Scanning can be challenging though. You do kind of have to learn how to write those scans. You have to learn the syntax, start to understand it, start to kind of, learn how that works. There's a bit of a learning curve to it. We've made that much, much easier recently with our sample scan library. Chances are you're scanning for fairly simple things. Now you can do a ton with the scan engine, take any custom technical criteria that you want, start to build that in. But until you get to that point, if you're just starting out, the sample scan library is an amazing and incredibly easy way to start running advanced technical scans. All you have to do is come to this page, scroll through the list, and find anything that fits your criteria. If you want to run that, hit the big green run button. And if you want to use that as a starter to start building your own custom scans, you can actually hit edit. We'll take a look at that in just a second. You can see how much there is in here, tons and tons of scans. And these are not just popular, but incredibly powerful. So something like entered an Ichimoku cloud, or specific single candlestick patterns like a dragonfly doji or a shooting star. You can scan for those things very, very easily simply by visiting this page. Now, right up at the top, these are some of my personal favorite scans to run. This, I think, should be your starting place if you're new to scanning. Run some scans for new highs across different time frames. Or if you're playing the short side, you can scan for new lows as well. But if you're looking for long setups, find strength out there in the market, the easiest way to do it is run these scans for new all-time highs, 52-week highs, 9-month, 6-month, and 3-month highs. It is incredibly easy to do this. Let's take new 52-week highs, for instance. All we have to do to run that scan and get a list of stocks that are making new 52-week highs, hit the big green button. Couldn't be easier. All you've got to do, there you go. You've got a list of 310 symbols that made a new 52-week high today. This is an incredibly powerful, incredibly easy way to run scans. And you can start to sort these by sector, by industry, different things like that, by scooter. That's our stock charts technical rank. Or you can save these to a chart list and start to filter those results, maybe move them into a separate watch list, anything that you want to do. It kind of starts here with these scan results. Now, like I said, if you want to edit that scan, if you want to use it as a starting place, all you got to do is hit that edit button. That's going to actually take that scan syntax, pull it into the scan workbench. You can hit this little reformat button down at the bottom to kind of clean it up. But you can see all of the syntax that is powering that scan. Instead of having to write any of this yourself, you can simply use that edit button to bring this in and then start to add additional criteria to it. Maybe you want to tweak the market cap. Maybe you want to scan for stocks in a different country or in a different exchange, different security types. Maybe you want to add some other technical criteria to this. This is a great way to start building your own custom scans. Come over to that sample scan library, find something that intrigues you, hit edit, and then start to build a scan based on that criteria that we've already written for you. So, incredibly powerful way to start scanning here on Stock Charts. If you're new to the platform, or if you've been using Stock Charts for a long time, I still find this to be an incredibly powerful, incredibly easy way to get up and running with scanning. Our fourth favorite way to get more out of Stock Charts, we're going to jump back over to that Charts and Tools page again, and we'll actually scroll down to that Member Tools area. The complement to scanning is alerts. You can also set custom technical alerts, and you can actually take any of your custom scans that you've started writing and set alerts to go off automatically and be triggered automatically and tell you when anything has happened. So if you want to take a specific group of stocks like the Dow and you want to set a technical alert whenever anything in that group of 30 stocks hits a new 52-week high, you could actually do that by writing a custom technical scan for that criteria. The other thing you have access to, though, are price alerts, and price alerts are incredibly crucial. I use these constantly in my own process. So you can actually come down here to the Member Tools area. You can hit this technical alert button. This is going to take you over to the Advanced Alert Workbench, and it actually looks incredibly similar to that Scan Workbench because behind the scenes they're kind of the same engine. So you actually do have the ability to pull in, like I said, any of your saved scans right into this Advanced Alert Workbench. If you want to set a price alert, though, just a basic, NVIDIA crossing this level, Google crossing this level, those kinds of things, that is my tip for you today. Get to know the price alert workbench, which couldn't be easier to use. So up here at the top left corner of that price alert area, that alert area, look for price alert, give that a click, make sure that's highlighted in gray, and that's going to take you over to our price alert workbench. Incredibly simple. All you've got to do is fill out this form. Type in a symbol. We were looking at Costco before, so let's do Costco. That's going to give you everything that filters or that fits that symbol that you've typed in. So we can select Costco there. You can see you get a little mini chart. Then we choose our trigger, whether it's crossing above or crossing below. We set our price that we want to set that alert at. Now we might have a specific price in mind, so maybe it's $570.88. We can type in a specific price. Or if we just want to be triggered on specific percentage moves, we can actually open up this menu right here and choose from any of these pre-canned percentages. So if you want to be alerted anytime Costco makes a 2% move higher or a 5% move higher, you can see how easy it is to pull that right in here. Now you can also add a custom message. So whenever any of these price alerts fire, if you want to say, consider adding to Costco or buying Costco if the price can break above this level, you can type those messages in right here in this box. It'll go along with that price alert when it's sent to you. Finally, you choose your notification type. You can get these alerts via email, via text message, via site notification. That's going to show a little green banner across the top of the website. I personally like to use the different notification types for different purposes. So I only use the email and the text message if it's an alert on something that I actually own. I'll set other site notifications for just things on my watch list, kind of symbols that I'm tracking and things like that. But I reserve the email and the text message for things that are actively held in my portfolio, active position. So nice way to kind of use some of those different features. I know that if I get a text from Stock Charts or an email from Stock Charts saying, hey, here's an alert, that's something I got to drop whatever I'm doing and go take a look at. So nice little way to use those notification types. So my fourth suggestion for you, get to know this price alert workbench, start to create some of these. They are incredibly powerful once you get up and running with these. Once you've filled in this form, all you got to do is hit that big green save button down at the bottom. And you can see this will actually add those to a list up here. So if you ever want to go back in and edit them, it's really, really easy to do that. So fourth suggestion there, price alerts. Now let's jump over to ACP one more time, take a look at some of these features over there. I did forget to mention that we can actually run scans directly from ACP. All those predefined scans that we were looking at, you can actually open up this panel on the right side of the screen, either run your custom technical scans that you've already saved, or if you're new to scanning and you just want to run some of those predefined scans from that sample library that we were looking at, all of those are available here as well. So if you wanted to scan for breakaway gap ups, for instance, you can select that from the menu, hit run scan, and that's going to show you a list of symbols right there. From there, all you have to do is click on a symbol, and that is going to load in a chart. So nice and easy to actually run scans right here within ACP and get those charts and then start to flip through them. Nice and an easy workflow there. I actually love running scans from ACP. That's one of my favorite ways to use that advanced charting platform. Jumping over to alerts though, on the left side of the screen, we're jumping from side to side here. Down in the bottom left corner, we have a little bell icon. You can see that. When you give that a click, this is going to open up the Create Alert panel here in ACP. So very, very similar idea. You type in a ticker symbol up at the top, whatever is actively selected in the middle of the screen, whatever you are already charting, that symbol is going to get pulled in to this Create Alert panel over on the left. You fill out the form from there. So what's your trigger, crossing above or crossing below? You can enter a specific price, or if you want to use your cursor and simply click, you can also click on the chart to pull in that price right into that sidebar. So for instance, if we wanted to set our alert kind of right off of this candle that you can see on the left side of the screen, if we break above there, maybe that's an interesting price level that we're going to want to keep an eye on. All we have to do, hover over exactly where we want it, give it a click, and you can see that price actually gets pulled right into that panel. Again, we can add our message, we can choose our notification type, we hit save, and we're going to be off to the races. That alert is going to be saved to our account. So nice and easy here in ACP. Another favorite feature of mine, being able to set alerts simply by clicking on the chart. I love that from our advanced charting platform here. Finally, our fifth and final way to get more value out of stock charts every day, every week, is here on Stock Charts TV. I got to give a shout out to my guy, David Keller, our chief market strategist. We're clicking up here at the top. We hit that Stock Charts TV tab. We're going to scroll down. We're going to click, hey, there's my face. We're going to click that final bar card. Now, Dave Keller's show, I think is one of the best ways to use stock charts. I got to be honest. You know, when you think about how you're using the site or why you're using the site, why you're using stock charts, right? It's to follow the markets. It's to understand what's happening. It's to have a deeper understanding of what's happening. Not just, hey, what did the Dow do today or what did the S&P 500 do today? But to go deeper, to go to that next level, right? What are the sectors doing? What are the industry groups doing? How did the breadth of numbers look? What stocks are working? What corners of the market are strengthening? What corners of the market are weakening? Those kinds of topics. That's why you really want to use stock charts. That's where the power is. It's allowing you to find what's truly happening in the market. Dave, to be honest, he does it for you every single day on the final bar up on the Stock Charts YouTube channel. Dave is sitting down to review the markets from an expert perspective, all using stock charts. He's running you through the charts. He's talking you through why things are happening, why it matters, how one thing is related to another. And in the process, he's showing you a lot of great ways to do it yourself. Not just, hey, follow me and I'll tell you what's going on, but he's actually showing you, hey, this is how you set this up. This is how you save this to your account. This is how you can follow these same charts every single day in your own approach. So Dave's show is truly phenomenal. And on top of that, he's always bringing on guests that bring their unique perspective. So on the show today, you can see that we had Joe Rabel on, who brought his perspective to the final bar, shared with you some of the charts that he is following. So following the final bar every single day, I think is just an absolutely fantastic way to get more value out of stock charts. If you're not already watching Dave's show on a daily basis or trying to catch up on some of those episodes every weekend, maybe, definitely incorporate that into your process. You can see how easy it is to get here. Let's do that one more time. Just hit Stock Charts TV from the top of any page around stock charts. The show actually might be here on the kind of the latest episode player. You can always jump over to our YouTube channel to watch Dave's show or any of the other ones that we do. But you can look for that final bar card down below, and you can actually watch Dave's show right from here. So the latest episode is going to get pulled in here. But if you want to go back over any of the previous editions of his show, again, this is 5 days a week, every day, or right at the close. You can actually open up the playlist right from here in that YouTube player, and you can click through any of these other episodes. So if you want to go back and see what Dave was saying a couple of days ago or a couple of weeks ago, all of those different episodes are in here. If there's a specific guest that you want to catch up on, all of those are going to be in here as well. So a great way to watch Dave's show right from stock charts. You don't actually have to go find things on YouTube. You can just watch that show right from here. But again, weekdays after the close, Dave is on touring you through the markets, helping you make sense of everything that is happening. And I really do think that Dave's show has become one of the most valuable things on stock charts, one of the best ways to really figure out what's happening out there in those wild markets every single day using the tools and features available on stockcharts.com. So that's going to do it for our show this week. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, we toured you through those 5 different ways to get more out of stock charts. You're going to be creating those chart templates, creating those chart styles, taking all those settings, bundling them up, and creating those templates that you can come back to for any symbol. Take the indicators and the settings that matter most to you, save those as a chart style, huge time saver. You're going to take all the things that you own in your portfolio, you're going to save that to a chart list in your own account. Start to create some other chart lists as well, right? Some different indexes, some different sector ETFs, maybe a watch list or two, always important. Get to know those chart lists, but start with your portfolio entered into one of them. If you want to get up and running with scanning, one of the most powerful tools on stock charts, definitely take advantage of that sample scan library that is quickly becoming a fan favorite and one of my favorites as well. Price alerts. Alerts as a whole are an incredibly powerful tool, but start with those price alerts. It's incredibly easy to fill out that form. And for those symbols that you're following, you really want to see if something crosses above this level, I'm going to get interested. If something crosses below this level, it might be time to get out. Those kinds of things. You want to stay ahead of the markets. They're always moving faster than we can really react, but price alerts are going to help you stay on top of all the action. So take advantage of that price alert workbench outside of ACP and within ACP simply by clicking on those charts as you saw. And finally, follow the final bar every single day. I think you'll find it an incredibly helpful guide through the markets. The show that Dave puts on is simply fantastic. So definitely tune in for the final bar every single day after the close. Don't forget Larry Williams content starting next week. We'll have more on the show in the coming couple of weeks, but starting next month, we're going to have new content from Larry Williams for all Stock Charts members. So again, if you're a current member, you're going to get access to that for those first 2 months. All you have to do, hit that articles page right up at the top of any page around stock charts, that little articles tab. You'll find a link to Larry's stuff on there. If you're not a Stock Charts member, stockcharts.com/Larry. You'll be able to sign up, get his exclusive content for those first 2 months. So don't miss that. stockcharts.com/Larry. Become a Stock Charts member. You'll automatically get a free trial as well. So these tools that we're taking a look at today, you'll get the power of those as well. Again, thank you so much for joining me on the show today. We'll be back next week with another episode. My name is Grayson Rose, Vice President of Operations here at StockCharts.com. It's been great to be with you as always. I'll see you soon, but until then, chart on, my friends.